Hello everyone. I can't see anyone yet. I'm just saying hello. How is everyone this evening? Thank you, Maria, for saying please. I think you were just trying to jump in really quick. That's okay. I will read for you. I'll just let a few people jump on for a second though. Hey Sharon, how you going? Friday. It's Friday here. Anyway, it is, what time is it? 8:24. Hello Natasha, how are you? I'm being disturbed. Nope. No. 3:24 a.m. here on a Friday. Wow. Early in the morning. Hello Shelley, how are you? Hello Donna. All right, let's get started. So I'm going to read for Maria first. All right. It's that, I call it a heavy silence, but it's not heavy as in it's a negative thing. But it's funny, as I come into the live readings, it's almost like listening to the hearing shift around you. It's really funny when you first sit in it. Yeah, okay. So you've got the procrastination card, you've got the sunset card, you've got the intentions card. So when I sit with your cards, and procrastination, it talks about creating delays to avoid action. And so there's a lot of inevitability happening around you at the moment, and it's just a little bit of a prompting to, look, I don't want to say go with the flow a little bit easier, because how not appropriate almost is that, you know what I mean? But I want to kind of say, like, just just a little bit of acceptance and a little bit of working through that energy that's there. It's almost like when it rains it pours, okay? And so it's almost like we were expecting A, B and C, and then there's D, E and F as well. All right, now you've got the sunset card. Now this talks about, for me, I'll describe it to how I do describe this card, and it's like the day at the fair, and it talks about the fact that, we've had good times, we've had bad times, it's been a great day, but we're ready to move forward. Would we change the past? We wouldn't, but we had a great time, but it's time to move forward now. And so that energy sits around that sunset card, because it's the end of an era, it's the end of a phase. It's not just like, oh, something in our life is changing, it's the end of an era. Okay, and so really mindful where the intentions sit, because where energy goes, energy flows, and it is so easy when everything is changing around us to feel like we have no control. But when we take that breath and we keep ourselves centered, we might not have control over everything, but even what we don't have control over, we can manage better. And it allows us to kind of set forward and just to begin to bring in that hope and that strength that needs to be brought in, okay? And so what I want to say to you just overall with that is just to kind of have a look and see what is around. And I know there's already been a kind of connection in and around with that. And so that information and that energy that comes in, work with it, sit with it, do something with it, okay? And look, it doesn't mean that everything has to happen like this. You know what I mean? I always suggest to people, especially when they're sitting in places of still, confusion for want of a better word, to create a 6-month plan. Putting a world of pressure on ourselves doesn't serve any purpose here. So I'll leave that there with you. I hope that helps, and thank you for joining me. All right, I have some cards turned over while I fix the cards that are turned over. So I have been fundraising for way too long now. I wanted this done in a couple of weeks, only because, I would have liked to have done it for them by now. But time is as time does, and so I am still battling along with the fundraiser. And so, as you can see, I'm not checking for donations or anything else like that. But if anyone would like to put a donation, I am fundraising for a local family. That family is just very well deserved of being able to have a day of magnificent fun, release a little bit of financial pressure, whatever it is that's there. But it's for a good cause, and I do hope that they get to make some memories with that. And so please use reference of donation. If you put a money into the bank account, 100% is donated. If you do make a donation through PayPal, then the fee is just reduced off of that. Other than that, 100% of money is donated to that. And so that's there. I keep saying I'll put the things up. The details are up on the page, but I'll refresh them for you guys later as well. So that's there. Okay, let's keep going. Comments. I wanted to go and catch Shelley, and then I'll catch up. All right, would love one, please. You know what I feel right now when I sit with your energy? I feel like if we were to sit and have lunch together, I'd walk away from that feeling really positive and feeling like I had a really nice time and sat with a really nice energy that's there. It's good. I don't feel like I don't necessarily want to say everything's all right and perfect around you, but your perspective, it feels really inspiring, as nerdy as that may say. But yeah, your energy is really nice to sit in, I must say. All right. So when I pull your cards, you've got the Freedom card, you've got the Take a Moment, you've got the Love card. I wanted to see where that was going. You've got the Changes card. Now, when I sit with your cards, interesting, as I said, when I sit with your energy, it feels really nice. Now, when I sit with the Freedom card, it talks about release, self-love, determination. Interesting, this card here, yes, it has love on it, but it talks about the representation behind this card 100% is about knowing yourself well enough to be able to trust yourself in the desire. It's like, see what I have. I have truth to happiness and desire that's written on there. And it's because you can trust yourself that those things that you're wanting, or those things that you're receiving or that you feel that you're not receiving, you can trust in that. Your experiences, your knowledge, your wisdom, it's brought you to a point of time in your life where you can really trust all of those experiences to allow you to make good decisions. And so to trust in that energy. So taking a moment, rest and gratitude are needed. And it's almost like just sitting back and taking that point of reflection. It's, when you kind of sit back and you go, okay, yeah, I know what I need to do. And so just giving yourself that time and giving yourself that space and understanding that the decisions that you're making are the right ones, okay? So being open to embracing changes. All right. And it doesn't mean that things are ending, or I don't necessarily feel like I'm ripping worlds apart here when I give you your reading, but I do feel like we're making a conscious choice to move forward and make, obvious changes. I'm curious to see where it goes. So look after yourself, be caught in your own head. You know what I want to say in a really cheeky way to you, all right? And I say it to myself all the time, so I do not mean any insult at all, but practice what you preach, okay? Because you sound like somebody, as I said, that I sit down and I talk to and I walk away really inspired from. And it's interesting that they showed me that specifically even while I was drawing your cards. And then when I'm sitting with the cards, it's like, well, hang on a second. You know what I mean? And it's so easy to do, but I do want to emphasize that to you. Just sort of... in the most beautiful, loving way I can say it. Practice what you preach. Make a commitment to move forward by staying connected to yourself. So you're pulling out the Where Are You card there, and it's really asking you what's missing in your life, and you know what it is that you need to do. So you've got the moving on, but it's time to confront your fears. Yeah, so if I pull your spread out, I've done the 12, let me pull your last 4. So things you need to be mindful of the most is your balance. You've got confusion and doubt around you, but you need to break down your problems and just sort of look at each thing individually rather than looking at it all as a collective. And you've got growth that's coming in and around you. Okay, so again, when I sit with you, that's how it feels. I want to really retain onto that positiveness that's there, because it feels like almost like if I was having this great day at the beach, all of a sudden I've had this wave that's come up and it's washed and tumbled me over, and I've planted, but I've been able to get back up with my day and move on. All right, so I'll leave that there with you, and I hope that helps. All right, let me catch up with the comments. Oh, nice. That is awesome. You know what? It's a good day for that, I must say. I finally got offered a house after a year of being homeless. Will it be safe and everything okay, please? You're the second person today that I know that has been most deserving of having that sense of security around them. And you know what? It's just so nice. It really has made my day hearing all of that news. And I said to this beautiful person earlier, I went, that's going to be the best piece of news that I hear all day. And I've got to kind of take that back and say that this is absolutely equal, on par with that. And you can see I'm excited by this energy. Look, I can feel that there's a little bit of... Look, I grew up in Mount Druitt, so let's look at it that way. I feel like, but you know what though, I've got to say in 100% seriousness, I had a fantastic childhood, and it's like as far as the area that I lived in, there was no, I was never mugged, robbed, or whatever else like that. So I know like there's probably a handful of you that going, oh, Mount Druitt. But and all I kind of mean by the point of even pointing that out, I guess, is that some souls are really rough and ready. Take a moment just to get those souls around you, and you'll find that those that, and not to imply others don't, but you find a lot of loyalty that runs through. You know what I mean? You genuinely do, and you'll find that people look after and watch each other's back, and people tend to not shit in their own backyards. And so what I want to say to you is that I do feel just a little bit of unsettlement, but I'm tuning into you as well, and I know that that's how you're feeling too. So I don't want to overplay on that, but I do know it extends just a little bit out. But honestly, you're going to be fine there, and give yourself a couple of months, and don't be afraid to give everyone a smile and a wave, okay? Again, some of you might just sort of keep smiling and waving at, but there is a couple of people there that you can actually make connections with. And so, yeah, enjoy the energy. Enjoy. Wow, Maria, you were in for such an amazing, you won't know yourself in 12 months, far out. Sharon, would love a reading, please. You know what I do see when I sit with you? A big rope, and it's in a knot. And it's almost like it feels like things are being blocked around you. I'm always mindful of capturing the words of the airy fairy. Blocked. You have blocked chakras. If you had blocked chakras, if your chakras were like shut down, you'd be dead. I love the airy fairy. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, it's just interesting as I'm pulling the cards. I see it as a cartoon in my head though, which is always symbolic as well, because cartoons are always easier to manipulate than real life. All right, let's have a look. Okay, interestingly, I want to go talk with you, or with your cards. You've got 3 cards, but I almost feel like each one's individual to itself. So you've got the take a chance, nothing changes if nothing changes. There's especially like as far as things moving forward and things like that, a lot has been unpredictably changed in the regards of being able to sit back and, 5 years ago, did we all sit back and think the economy was going to sit this way? Things like that. I want to say to you, don't try not to stick to your guns too much. And I know that can be like but what I mean by that is that I just feel like if we're sitting here, we need to kind of just breathe that space and circumference out a little bit around with us, because if we don't, we could end up backfiring on ourselves. And so I think that time has kind of shown that. And so just sort of sit with that. And I do feel it's interesting because it's always had a nice connected energy to it that's there. And I'm just feeling like it's laying. I'm seeing it in my head as like this, almost like this cone that comes down, and it's got a ring and then a different colour ring around it, which I know just sounds probably silly. But what I feel is in that ring is where the answer sits, okay? Even like logistically, all right? Now, you've got the healing card, which talks about being patient and allowing the healing to come in. Now, interestingly, when I sat with that card with you, what I felt was that you're actually going to receive some news regarding like an old friend or somebody that's connected to family that I don't want to say that you're not closely connected to as far as emotionally goes, but I don't feel like you've spent a lot of time with this person, if not for a very decent amount of time. But I do feel like there's some news or some information that comes in from either somebody around that time or somebody specifically from that time. But I just feel like it's a piece of information that is reflective, and I guess almost this allows us to move on a little bit. And I don't want to make it sound too dramatic, okay, but it just feels like I kind of take a breath and go, all right. You know what I mean? But that's what I got with that card, so I want to leave it with you. And you've got improvement of self and situations, all right? And so, yeah, it's like you got this steam train on the tracks, and it's just, I don't know, it's got this dinky wheel, and it keeps, we've got to keep stopping every freaking 100 metres, and it's just slowed everything down. It's a pain in the bum, but, there's always parts to the wheel. Even if we've got to replace that wheel 100 times, we're going to get the part 100 times, so it's not like we're stuck. But, oh my God, it's slowing down the journey. And look, I do feel like eventually, we've got to get to a point where that wheel gets fixed properly. And so, yeah, I'll leave that there with you, and I hope that helps. All right, so let's keep going. Yeah, look, ditto with you. It's funny, I often sit and I listen, and I'll say it sometimes to client as well. Like, I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you, because you're sitting there, da-da-da-da-da. But yeah, practicing what you preach can be really hard. Now, guys, what do I do? I don't know what I do when I do that. I wanted to pop this one up, just quickly. Where is it? There we go. On the 5th and 6th of August, I have got the past life regression workshop, and so I had to move the dates of that just because I accidentally overbooked myself. And so what I have done is moved the in-person to the 5th, the Zoom to the 6th of August. Now, this is a workshop that's actually going to teach you how to do past life regressions for other people. And being the literal person that I am, it is a very detailed day. It takes you straight all the way from like your intake forms, with the inductions, the way to sort of be able to tell that which way your client is going to be inducted, the best way, to be the deepest way, to get the most out of a session, all of those kind of little bits and pieces, and of course how to actually conduct the past life regressions themselves. There's so much information and so much energy into it, and past life regressions is something that I am quite passionate about. Now, this is a course for if you do Reiki, it's a great thing to introduce. If you're a psychic or a medium and you'd like to introduce it into your practice, perhaps you're a massage therapist, perhaps you're just interested. You do not need to actually be a clinician to learn this course. I am happy for everybody to come in and actually learn this course. After I've done this course, I will have a more therapy one that people that want to take it to a more therapeutic level will be able to come and do as well. It won't be as long as this first one, but yes, so there will be a more advanced one that comes after this. But if you guys are interested in that, it is up on the Facebook page. It's not until the 5th or the 6th of August. But again, it's going to be a massively in-depth day. And for all accounts and purposes, you'll walk away with your scripts, your forms, everything else that you need. And you should be confident enough to be able to sit down and actually start practicing that and give some people some really amazing journeys. And look, it's a fantastic thing to add to your income source. And so that's up now as well. Just while I am gas bagging, use the code WINTER. For a 25% off of your Reiki or reading. And so for up until the 31st of July, you can book. Your reading, your Reiki does not have to be before the 31st of July, but you need to book before the 31st of July to use that code. And so that will give you 25% off of any reading and Reiki session over half an hour. It does not include like readings at fairs and all of those kind of little bits and pieces. It is for the private readings, but that's up to $50 discount off of some of the readings. And so that is there. Let's go back to it. There we go. I'm with you, Beverly. I'm with you. But Amanda, I do want to say, I'll jump, let me jump on you next. Let me focus this way. I want to just like double check. All right. Beverly. Hello. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Do you see anything for me with work and love, please? Work. Work's actually feeling a little bit, it's interesting. It's heavy, but I see you smile through it. there's definitely still like that sense of security and you know, those kind of little bits and pieces that are there. But it's funny. I want to say security now. It does feel like if I see over the next 5 years, which, you know, I even planning on being there for that long, but I'm probably assuming that you are. But I do feel like there's a lot of changes that come over that 5 years. It feels very different. It's interesting. It's almost, I get the word amalgamation, and I'm not sure if I'm using that word correctly, but in my head, what it means is two businesses coming together, which isn't amalgamation, but for some reason that's the word I want to use. Maybe it is. I don't know. But anyway, that's the word I want to use with it. Yeah. Let me play some cards. Wondering if you're taking a break from work or wanting to take a break from work. I could obviously, like, I'm not taking a week off, wouldn't be that reflective over that. Let me show you your cards. So you've got the it's time when you feel it, you know, you've got the intuition card, you had the yes card, and so you've got the take 5 that sits over that. And so it's just asking you to regroup, recuperate, just be mindful. Listen to your body at the moment. Just on a side note of things, listen to your body at the moment. There's no hidden thing in that, but I just feel like as long as we are listening to our body and in tune with that, we're kind of preventing, it's like cold season, so to speak. And it's interesting because I don't think colds are actually the biggest in winter, but that's that energy that I've got around it, just as a side note. Things that under discussion, it's got this energy around it that, as I said, like it's, you can see even just from where I sit with it. You've definitely got some shifts coming up in and around you with work, and as I said, I'm wondering if some of those are actually conscious ones that you're making on your behalf as well. I do feel like if that's there's an extension to the time that was anticipated, and so if we were anticipating even say like you know, something significant happening in work in 12 months, I want to say that it's sitting forward in 18 months, even 2 years. I do want to say to you, if that was your choice and your energy about pulling out, I do feel like there's been some extra time that you've given over there as well. But there's definitely a shifting energy around that work side of things, and I definitely do feel like there's some breakaway in that. And I get the breakaway can come in different elements, like, but there's definitely some train motion going on there. Now, trust your intuition. When I sit with that card that's there, I want to say to you, just watch what's going on around you. It's almost like things are in the timing with you at the moment, all right? The relationship side of things, I almost want to kind of like jump up and down at that one, to be honest with you. Yeah, I know, it's funny, I just talk sometimes. What is going on there? I think it's time to get like a little bit more meaty with this, and I hear you. I know, like, you're not hidden in the background, you're not hiding in the shadows. I know that, but this needs more meat, because it's like, as I said, like delightfully frustrating at this point in time. You can see I've got a smile on my face, but I do want to say to you, it needs, yeah, there's, you know what I want to say to you, and again, always with respect, always with honesty and everything else like that, but I got a sneaking suspicion that you keep coming back either to a certain point, a fear or notion or thought or decision. There's something there, and I reckon that there'd almost be a cheeky smile within that. And I get that the want, the desire and everything else is there, and so you could almost sit back and go, well, no, this is something I want. Why would I be self-sabotaging on that? Sit and have a reflection on that. There's something that's here, and I want to keep it. I can keep it light. You know what I mean? But yeah, reflect with that and just challenge through. And it's definitely fear based. Like it's definitely fear based. If we've got to work through it, it's fear based. So yeah, I just sort of want to leave you with that thought and notion. And I know that's frustrating, but it's there. That it's there. Get your pen and your paper out and journal a little bit over the weekend, and just see what comes up around with it, eh? There's a reflection, and you know what? Some of that could even be like, pardon me, be really honest with yourself, as far as you know, how free you feel to move on, and all of those beautiful things that are attached with that. Just sit with that energy, okay? I think you'll find some answers are sitting there. And then allowing yourself to work with that thereafter. All right, so I hope that that helps. Amanda, I wanted to say yes straight up. Like, as I said, it caught my attention to the point where I was distracted. But yeah, I still want to say yes. Have I got rid of the leech in my home? Probably people are going, what the hell are you talking about as a leech? Let me just explain for those that are listening, I suppose. But it's an opinion. It's an opinion, and it's a word that I use. But it's sometimes we'll get like a little bit of energy in the house that might just be kind of low level spirit. You know what I mean? It's just comes and goes. The world's full of energy and spirit. It's not about haunted houses or, you know, let's keep it kind of realistic. But at the same token, you can get these energies that come in the house that you know, as I said, just low level. And what I mean by low level, harmless. You know what I mean? So you'll get a few of those around. Now, given the circumstances or something happens, and, you know, it sort of takes a little bit of a combination, but in my opinion, what that then brings in, or can bring in, let's again keep it real, but it's like just a higher kind of, like a leech, okay? It's like a bully. There's no other, like, just describe it as it is. It's like a spirit that comes in and almost like wants to antagonize the lower level spirits, you know, and then lower level's not the right word. I just mean like gentler, softer, like, you know what I mean? But it'll use them as almost like an energy source. And whilst that then comes into the house, you'll always see niggly illnesses, disputes that come up, an unsettled energy. There's always a darker spot in the house, all of those kind of little bits and pieces. And my experience came from that, from a personal experience that I had. And so when I sit with you, Amanda, yeah, I do feel like you have. Keep an eye out, because when we remove sort of that energy that's there, it doesn't mean that we've necessarily shifted all of that energy or that we want to. But whilst that's there, it's you know, it's not a bulletproof fence type of thing. And so don't feel like if, you know, in a few weeks' time you want to do a little bit of a just rehash. And I'm not saying you're going to have to. I'm not saying it's coming back or anything else. But just, you know, it's maintenance. And once it's been there, just in my experience, it's good just to sort of keep that intention rolling for a few more weeks. Yeah, okay, a few more weeks. And again, keep me in context. I'm not like you've got to be like onto it every day or anything. Just, you know, just doing the dishes, as you come home, as you find something beautiful around the garden, just remind yourself how beautiful and positive the energy in this house is and how much love is here and all of those kind of little bits and pieces. Where energy goes, energy flows. All right. Danielle Marie. Hello, lovely. Can you share any insight around a loving relationship entering my life, please, and thank you. You know, it's interesting. I wasn't going to pull the deck out, but I'm just going to pull one card from it as I pull. I picked up this deck in Melbourne. I'm only going to, yeah, just, oh, I only got to. I'll see how I go. All right. You know what I want to say? Like, the desire, the happiness, the self-awareness, all of those kind of little bits and pieces, they're there. Like, it feels like this nice energy, and it almost feels like an arguable point if I was to say, you know, oh, look, there's this and this still needs to kind of just be looked at. But I've done that. You know, and it's not a stubborn energy by any other stick, but I can almost hear that sort of in myself when I sit with your energy and with your soul. And what I want to say with you with that is just to have a look, because there's so much. Think about your life, think about your experiences, think about how much you've had to stay on top of things, and that you've had to, even in your sleep, maintain this sense of control and awareness and protection. And, you know, not just over self, but over people that you love, and over, you know, businesses and other people, and the care that you have, and all of those kind of little bits and pieces. There's always, 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 even if it's a gentle energy, there's something sitting on your shoulder that says, go and look after something else. You've got to protect this. I think in all of that energy that's there, there's just that little bit more of I don't want to say letting go. It's not the right word. It's almost like just relinquishing. That's you know, it's just that little bit more of gone with the wind energy, you know, that sits there with it. And just to not, it's okay if we've got to do it 10 times over. And I feel like if we go in with that, it's okay that I've got to do this, you know, potentially another 10 times over, that you won't. Okay, and so I just want to kind of leave that there with you, but I'll pull you a couple of cards just to see what sits. But I want to pull you one from the naughty deck, and I'm going to say to you that it has swear words in it. So if you don't want to hear it, drop a comment. Yeah. So the regroup, taken 5. And this card is always about just regrouping, recuperating, rest, rejuvenation, all of those kind of little bits and pieces. And so I guess, you know, with that card that's there, it's almost like I ask you to just to share a moment to reflect, you know, on what we've spoke about. And so taking a chance. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Again, just a little bit of a tweaking, but being open to embracing the changes. But I've got to say, the whole time I'm talking to you, I have you standing there. It's almost like you're on the edge of this cliff. You're looking over. I can feel the contentment that's coming out over you, and you're looking out and you're over the water, and your hair's just kind of blowing blowing back, and it's just this really nice energy that sits there with it. And that's where I say, like, relinquishing, releasing. It's almost like just standing there and it's like, all right, just take me, let's just do this, you know. And again, if we go in with that intention of like, I don't care if I have to do this 100 times, it's like we do it once, twice or something, you know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. Now I just want to it's almost like the cards just want to make a point. Let me just I don't know. It's as I said, it's just interesting. They're funny. So you've got clusterfuckers of fairies. Time to calm the chaos. This is interesting. I'll let you decipher that one. So I just wanted to pull that one out. All right. So I hope that helps, and thank you for joining me. All right. Let me catch up with the comments. Before I catch up with the comments, 8:54. Where are we? Half an hour. Yeah, nice. Just super quick, scam alert. Just remember, guys, I'll never message you for readings. I don't send friend requests. Business pages can't. If you like my page, one, I like it when you like my page. I'm not going to lie about that. But at the same token as well, all you have to do, if you do happen to get something or you're not 100% sure if it's me, if you click on that, you're going to see straight away whether or not it's the page that you like. You know what I mean? So just, yeah. Doing the fundraiser, as you can see there down the bottom. So 100% of money raised will be donated. My goal is $1,000. This has been going on for a little bit longer than what I anticipated because my time has been quite poor, but I'm still slogging through with it. And so if you do wish to make a donation, just please use the reference donation. 100% of monies raised will be donated to a local family that's going to help them create some beautiful memories. And so if you do donate through PayPal, please understand that it is just less the fees that PayPal charges me, nothing more, nothing less. You're very welcome. Kylie Annette, I would love a reading, please. Yeah, a little bit more opening up. Yeah. But in this really, as I said, like, you're standing there with that breeze in your hair. All right, Kylie, let me focus on you. I would love a reading, please. Kylie. You got 2. Okay, so when I pull your cards, I got 2 for one deal. So you got the moving on and you got the love card that's there. Now, this card, love card, it's not about necessarily relationships. It's about you. It's about this little reminder that your experiences and everything else that's come along in life has got you to a point where you can trust what you're feeling, trust what you're looking at. And that includes, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck, okay? But just being able to trust yourself and being able to understand that decisions have to be made off of that knowledge. So you've got the moving forward towards better things. That doesn't mean that you're stepping away from, all right, but it does mean that you're moving towards something that's a little bit better for you. But I feel like this is something that's coming in because you've actually made some choices and changes and decisions about what's acceptable and, you know, what boundaries for all essential purposes. You've got the cycle card that's there, and it's always just this gentle reminder that beginnings and endings are a natural part of life. And it doesn't mean that every single relationship is going to end, pardon me, or that every single job is going to end. but it does mean that beginnings and endings are a natural part of life, and so if they do occur, it's okay. You don't have to carry guilt or anything else off of that. And that you are secure in your choices. You are secure in your life and in the choices that you make, all right? And so even if I just sort of follow your cards a little bit, you've got a little bit of an external conflict, but your energies are shifting for the better. You just need to break down your problems just that little bit more and sit with them. A little bit of uncertainty that sits there, but it is time to call on your strength and release the binds that are holding you back, because you've got the detox card that sits there as well. Which talks about the fact that this isn't a new energy. This is something that's been sitting for a while and it's brewing, and it's like a volcano. You know, we can look at it from the outside and it's a thing of beauty, but you know, underneath all of that, it is bubbling and brewing, and one day it is going to explode, and the explosion off of that can be absolutely catastrophic. It's about dealing with it before it does blow, all right? And so I hope all of that helps, and I hope all of that helps, and thank you for joining me. My words get all tangled up when I read because I'm... All right, Michelle, I will grab you and then I'll just catch up with the comments. Michelle. The other card if you have time, please. I know it's a little bit of sidetracked or whatever else, but the bubs there in your profile picture just jumped out, and I just want to say, if there's the news or the information that's waiting to come in will come in, and it all feels very positive and manageable. I feel like it's just to do with like maybe a little tummy upset or something like that. I just want to see where your cards are going for a second. All right, so when I sit with your cards, you've got the detox card, you've got the confront fears card, and you've got the betrayal card that sits there. Hence the reason why I wanted to see where your story was going. As you would have just heard me talk about the detox card that just came out, it's about an energy that's been sitting there for a long time, and it's imploring you, it's time to let go of what no longer serves, okay? And if you don't let go, then the universe, Mother Nature, natural energy is going to implode it for you. So it's time to really address your fears, confront those fears, you know, and with that comes that release. Yes, it takes courage, but it brings the freedom as well. This is the only card in the deck I didn't put writing on because I don't think it needs writing. A sheep in wolf's clothing, or wolf in sheep's clothing, other way around. It just talks about a little bit of external energy, and there's been a lot of interference, and you may find that it's just cutting off that external interference that is the problem and needs to happen, but you need to embrace the changes and trust that it is time to actually do that. Once you do that, your cards totally shift. You've got the freedom card, moving on card. You've got it's time to trust in self, but it's time to make some decisions around with you. You've got the new beginnings card, standing strong. Again, the external conflict card comes up, and the security card comes up for you as well. So you can see it's almost like the cards are just saying to you, listen, again, it's almost like I just need to cut off this, you know what, it's like a fly. That's what it's like, you know what I mean? I could be having this perfectly beautiful space, the energy around me, there's nothing wrong with it. This bloody fly's gotten in and it's like, it's at my head. And even as I picture it, I can feel the frustration even. You know what I mean? To get a freaking swatter out and just smack it out. Like, it needs to go. It needs to go. And so, yeah. But then again, like as I said, as soon as I've done that, as soon as that flies out of the room, I can get on with enjoying my day. You know what I mean? And you can see there's like you can see it's like almost reading two sets of cards that's there with it, all right? And so I hope that helps. And I know, like, again, words are easy, and it's not so easy just to sort of put action into place, but I don't feel like even that whole slice off doesn't mean that, oh, like they're gone, that's it, never spoken to again, but the behaviour or the lack of boundaries or the interference or whatever that bloody fly is, it needs to go. It needs to be like swatted. And once it's swatted and it's silenced, as I said, I'm able to move forward and the energy absolutely shifts around you, okay? So I hope that helps. All right, let me catch up with the comments. Holy cow. Okay, sorry, I didn't realise I was so far behind the comments. Let me just get rid of this freaking dipshit. Divine Intuitive Tarot, there's no place for you here, but thank you very much for dropping by. All right. I think of this one here. Please just, again, knock yourselves out. You get what you pay for, but I don't take any responsibility. I say that cheekily, but yeah, just they're pain in the bums. All right, let's keep going. Oh, you're very welcome. Very welcome. Jody, I would also love a card flipped. Guidance needed. Jody. So guys, while I'm flipping Jody's cards too, and you're sitting here and you're watching in eager anticipation, always appreciate a thumbs up or a heart up on the live feed. It does help with the algorithm. Always appreciate a share. No obligation whatsoever, but do appreciate a thumbs up or a heart. If you are going to ask for a reading, please have the common courtesy of liking my page. It's all about the energy exchange. I give a little, you give a little. We'll meet in the middle. Just remember, guys, the 25% code up for if you put winter in, you'll receive 25% off of any of your readings over 30 minutes. All right, Jody. Just as a side note, Jody, I want to say to you, it feels like you've got a lot of energy that needs to be released. A lot of pent-up energy that's there, and it's, sometimes it's a good energy, sometimes it's a not so good energy, but it does it. So like what I hear in my head is like this really just like awesome rock song that I love, and I'm like just jumping around the lounge room and I'm just releasing all of this energy because I'm choosing to do it in a positive way. You're probably a little bit like me, idle hands are the devil's playground, and so it's just like that really good way to release it. I want to offer that to you as a suggestion, especially if you are feeling a little bit frustrated at the moment. Now, when I pull your cards, I laugh because it looks like you're frustrated, but you've got the duck. If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. All right, so basically is really just saying it's time to see things as they are. You already are, and so just sort of accept that, okay? Now, the female card, it talks about the fact that the energy has to come from within. So, promises made, intentions set, plans, proposed aren't actually going to come to fruition unless you put in the time and the effort and the energy. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it was your responsibility to do that. It means that these things aren't going to shift and change until you actually make the changes and shift in the energy. It's almost like, the other side's comfortable, why bother? So I really kind of just want to bring you back to that duck energy. If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, all right? If things aren't coming to you that have said that they would, if promises aren't being kept, that's the way it's going to stay. And so sometimes we can call that out, but I do feel that even calling it out isn't going to create a big shift into this. And so you've got the yes card that's there, okay, and so there's always just that emphasis on what needs to happen, and that's that stand strong energy. And it's just also the fact you do got this, like you actually feel like you're incredibly intuitive, and you feel like somebody who knows how to take life by the balls and, spin them up and chew them back out again as well. And it doesn't mean that just because we're strong that things don't hurt and that things don't, get to us as much as what everybody else. But it does mean that you've got that resilience and that persistence and that perseverance that's there. It's time to really trust in that intuition. It's almost like there's this energy there that's stopping you or holding you back from an aspect of your life, and keeping it in context, because I don't feel like, oh my God, I can never do this because I had to do this. Let's not be dramatic. But I do feel like, for example, you want to go bushwalking every single Saturday. And you never ever can because this person, oh, can you come and take me shopping? I don't know how to carry by myself, when, they just can't be bothered working it out. And again, I know it's not that simple, but just to keep the conversation flowing. So, oh, pardon me, sorry guys. I changed my two kids' bedrooms around, and the dust was real, which is interesting. All right, so I'll leave that there with you, and I hope that helps. All right. Always mindful if I have to cough. Like you can't cough anymore because, COVID destroyed that for the world. But I'm on the microphone, and I'm always conscious that you're coughing this. Okay. You're welcome. Shakti. I never know if I'm saying some names correctly, but I'm drawn to the energy. So please forgive me if I do pronounce the name incorrectly. Hi Elizabeth, may I receive some guidance? I would highly appreciate it. Unicorns, butterflies and ladybugs. Nice. And a purple heart. Doesn't get much better than that now, does it? All right. Okay, so when I pull your cards, you've got the male card that's there, which absolutely can talk about a partner. Now, in connection to partners around you, I actually wanted to say, even just as a separate side note, that I feel this beautiful positive energy that's there. It's almost like two magnets coming in together. And so if you're either looking for improvements in or waiting for a relationship to come in, it's nice. It's almost like this, it's almost like I'm watching it in space, these two magnets. What's the, when energies collide? It's, so you've got the bigger picture, which talks about long-term, beyond self and moments. So I just want to come back to this card for a second because I wanted to divert off with the partner energy, but actually talk about the fact that this card talks about calling on your strength. And so it's like, if you roll up your sleeves now, you get your shovel out and you do the hard work, you're going to have this amazing crop that yields, fruit that's going to feed you for a year. And so that's about pulling up your strength and really calling on that strength and making decisions at this point in time that aren't necessarily going to serve you right now, but are going to serve you a lot better later. And it might make things a little bit more difficult now, but in the long term, it's the best decision. And so it's make the decisions that are best for tomorrow, not easiest for today. And just make that commitment to move forward. And so, whether there's been this notion around a relationship, perhaps that is what the energy is that's there. But I also do feel that career side of things that's there with you. And it's like I have choices and decisions. Don't be afraid to kind of take what you want out of that, okay? Even if it's not to the approval of other people, because at the end of the day, you're the person that has to live with that. So I hope that helps, and thank you for joining me. All right. Thank you. Perfect. Yeah, nice. You are single. It's funny, like when I meditate, I like going up into space, and it's interesting because when you travel around like the planets and the stars and the bits and pieces like that, and don't get me wrong, like every meditation's not like as deep, but definitely there's this different silence once you're there. Like, yeah, even from when you lay down or sit down to do your meditation to the point where you actually hit space. I'm digressing, but it's really interesting. Anyway, but that's where I am. I'm up in space, I can see it. And even as I see it, it's like two big hematite magnets. And they're shining on the edges and everything. And I can see like the like the dust as if they were flying through space, behind them and everything else, and coming together and clicking in together. It's quite a nice energy. So, and I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm sitting on a huge timeline with that either. But I do want to say to you as well, I'm not sure how long you've sat and listened for, but we were talking about relinquishing our energy earlier and just sort of being a little bit more open and just to let things kind of be. And I just want to sort of give you that same advice as well. You're welcome. Danica. I would love a reading tonight. Oh, yeah, sweet. All right, Danica. May I have a reading, please? You know what I want to say to you? And I know that you've caught me a few times on here. I've seen you travel through my read a few times. And so I know that you know that I like to be honest. And always respectfully honest with that. You're probably sitting there now going, oh my God, what's she going to say? It's not. I want to say to you, when I sit in your energy, you've got, it's like, I want to really gently say to you that you're not using half of the intelligence that you got. You have got this incredible energy of when you put your mind to something. And I feel like there's something that you're almost like lusting for, tunging for. It's this energy that I feel like has a lot to do with like who you are. And so I do want to link it to like what you do as far as career work and bits and pieces like that. But, sometimes work isn't just about kind of having a job. And and I get that sometimes it just isn't, that all aspects are okay. But when you look at, say, someone like myself, for example, my business is who I am. It's what I live and breathe. It's my life. It's my passion. It's my joy. It's just so much more than a job sort of energy that's there. And I feel like you're kind of putting that same kind of wisdom and intelligence and knowledge that comes into that, and just you have so much to offer there. And I want to say to you, kind of be open to embracing the changes. Pay attention to that niggly energy that's sitting there with you that comes in the form of boredom or frustration, or even just like old energy coming back up. It's almost like, your brain's run out of things to focus, and so it wants to, it's rehashing. And again, keep me in context, but it is time, and it's time to trust. The self-belief, the self-trust is where it all begins. And you can see I'm excited in your energy. I'm like, man, you could smash this. It's just, it's all I get as a vision, and it doesn't really lead me anywhere. And it's interesting even where I'm standing in the vision. But I'll share it to you as it is. And again, I don't feel it has any pacificness around there, but there's a little symbol. Anyway, shut up, Liz. I'm standing in the car park at a Hawk's Nest hotel that I've taken my kids to, and I'm walking over to, or you're walking over to a ute, and that's all I see. It's sunny, it's a nice day, you're as positive as, you're excited as you're walking over to the car, but that's I just keep getting that vision that's there, and I get it. You're like, what the hell does that mean? I don't know, but for me, I have two cliche things, and one of them is sunshine and a sunny day representing a really nice positive energy and outcome. And so at the very minimum, I know that it's showing me that. But I feel like, as I said, that there's a transaction that's included there. So I really want to implore you to pay attention to that energy and enjoy the ride and go for gold. Don't be afraid to leave others behind in that. It's what happens. Okay, some people for a reason, some people for a season. Glennis, I will jump on your reading. I will not jump on you. I will jump on your reading in a moment, please. So I just want to share, guys, just quickly that the past life regression workshop is up. There's going to be the psychic and the mediumship and the tarot and the energy and the Reiki workshops put up as well. Over the next couple of days. But at the moment, the past life regression workshop has put up, and I know that a few of you have been messaging about this one. So I have moved it until the 5th or the 6th of August, and I have dropped the price down to $500. This is a practitioner course. This is to teach you how to do past life regressions for your clients. And so it's something that is an investment and that you'll make your money back on very quickly, but it is a very intensive day. You need to come prepared to learn. You will have all your intake forms, your induction scripts, the procedures, processes, all of those kind of little bits and pieces, how to get a VAC score for your client, everything, so that your client has this amazing experience connecting back to their past lives. Reiki practitioners, massage therapists, general interest of people. You do not have to be a clinician to actually come and do this course. There will be one that's a little bit more therapeutic and advanced thereafter, but you will have to have certain qualifications to be able to do that one. All right, and so for anybody that's interested, you can click that, book that through the website or the Facebook page. Feel free to message me if you have any other questions. Please ask those questions before you book. Thanks, Glennis. All right, let me focus on you. Glennis. Glennis was like, just get on with it, woman. I know, sorry. But I am at Central Coast Spiritual Church on Sunday, 1 Pacific Street at Long Jetty. For anyone that is interested, that is the Long Jetty Spiritual Group gathering, and I'm looking forward to that. That's at 1:30 p.m. The details will be up on my Facebook page. All right, Gladys, thank you for your patience. All right, so you've got the change of luck. Energies are shifting for the better. You've got the self-care, which talks about truth, honour and awareness, okay? It's really is self-care. It's not about getting your nails done and sitting in a pretty bath, but really kind of standing in your truth and your honour and your awareness and making that commitment to move forward. So when I sit with your cards, it's the energy shifting around you. Really make sure that you're taking advantage of opportunities. Now, I do feel like you need to step out of your comfort zone, and I feel like this is almost like trying new things as well. I want to say to you, it's almost like it's personally attained to, like, you know, I've always wanted to learn how to belly dance. I've always wanted to, I don't know, go ice skating. I haven't done it in 20 years. I've always wanted to skydive, you know. It feels like it's something like that. And, you know, the skydiving side of things, we can look at things like leisurely, but I specifically dived. I don't know what the right word is there, because I'm so scared of heights. And so for me, to be able to jump 14,000 feet out of the plane, if I had done that, I had no excuses left. You know what I mean? Because I'm shit scared of heights and I jumped out of a plane. So therefore, if I can get over that, I can get over this. Does that make sense? And I feel like this is that same kind of sense of personal achievement that it is for you as well. Now, it's interesting. I will say it'll kick you along the arse a little bit, just because as I share the example that's there, as I did jump out the plane, I burst eardrums. You know, that it freaking hurt, and I was deaf in one ear for 3 months. So, you know, but would I have changed it? No, I'm glad I did it. And so it's that same thing. You're going to get kicked in the butt along the way, but it's moving you forward. There's that nice sense of achievement. So make that commitment to move forward. And really, again, your truth, your honour, and your awareness. It just feels like there needs to be a little bit more self-nurture and a little bit more connection to self without the excuses as to why it doesn't matter that we write that off. All right, so I hope that helps. All right, where are we at? So I'm going to do 2, possibly 3 more readings, and we will see how we go tomorrow. Let me catch up with the comments. Georgia, I would love a reading if one's available, please. So guys, please remember as well, I don't check, as you can see, but do always appreciate it if you like my page before you ask for a reading or after you've asked for a reading. I like it. It's always nice to see new people join the page, and I try to be as interactive as possible. So, yeah. You're welcome, Glenys. All right, Georgia. Okay. You've got the your goals are not impossible card. You also got the self-care card, but then you've got the completions card with it. And there's like that message there of going, your goals are attainable, but you need to kind of, again, connect back to yourself and actually finish what is no longer serving you. It's almost like you're ready to put something down, but you're not quite able to let go yet. Understand in life that shit happens, okay? But you need to come into your self-trust. Self-trust and self-belief is where it all begins. And I know that that's an easy thing to say, but it really is. If we do not have trust and faith in ourselves, we're not trusting anything that we're doing. We don't have faith in the outcomes of situations that we try to produce. Nothing. And then we're vulnerable. And that's where manipulation and you know, even life's gentle narcissism is going to steer us off track, all right? And so being open to embracing the changes, but really connecting back to where you are right now. Again, if I keep pulling your cards, you've got the Stay Connected card that's there as well, okay? So there's a goal, there's a desire here. I wish that I was here. I wish I had this. I wish I felt this way. It's there, but it's not going to just happen. That work needs to come in, and you can see the completions card that's there, you know? It's probably a bit hard to make out. I should really get them published. But anyway, it's a tower collapsing, the bushfire that, you know, for all accounts and purposes destroys everything. But then we see that beautiful regrowth that's there. That work has to be done before they can come in, and it's going to have to be you that does it, all right? So I hope that helps, and thank you for joining me this evening. All right. Yes, Sally. I would love a reading if possible, please. All right, perfect. So I'm going to do one more reading after Sally. Sally, please just stay with me for a second as I see people sign out. So thank you very much to everyone who has made a donation this evening. I will put the bank and the PayPal details up on the page after this live feed so that it's done again. Please use the reference of donation, and please know that donations are all greatly appreciated, and 100% of money raised will be donated to the family. Other than that, guys, 25% discount. If you use the code WINTER, you will receive 25% off of any reading and Reiki over 30 minutes. And also the workshops are coming out again. for the second part of the year. And so you'll find psychic mediumship, Reiki, energy healing, da 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 da. The past life regression one is already up. That is for people wanting to learn past life regressions to do for clients as an income source. And so knock yourselves out and book in, because I would love to see you there. All right, Sally. And there is one in person and in Zoom as well. And if you're somewhere else in the world where the time frames aren't letting you up, let me know, because I am working on some US times in particular at the moment, and UK, but I think UK is not as hard to manage as US. But anyway, Sally, let me focus on you. All right, Sally. All right, so when I sit with your cards, you've got the cycle cards, which talks about beginnings and endings being a natural order. I feel like this is something that's almost come in, look, unexpectedly expected. Feels like a better way to confusing way to describe it, but it does feel like a better way to describe it. But beginnings and endings are a natural order, and it might not be fair, and it might not be what we wanted, or it might not have been what we foreseen, but it is okay to accept. And so just taking a moment to rest, regroup, reconnect with yourself, and just be mindful. It's about that self-nurture and awareness, and mindfulness in particular. Mindfulness is important. But then you've got the transformation card, which talks about blossoming into true self. And so what I want to say to you is, there may be situations that are sitting there or just upcoming, because I do feel like I'm sort of moving into the future, but I don't feel these are things that are blindsiding you that are coming up, because I do feel like the awareness is in the present, okay? And so when I sit with you, but I do feel like I'm almost sitting around this 6-month cycle that's there with it. Again, I don't know if you've ever seen that picture of the rope, of somebody holding the rope and it's cutting into their hand, but if they just let go, it stops. That's got that kind of energy that sits there with it. And so that's where that self-nurture comes into it. You may be wondering what sits on the other side as things change around you, but I do want to say you're going to connect to yourself in a way that you haven't before, and it's going to really bring a lot of joy and happiness. That blossoming into true self that's there, that's exactly what that is. You're going to have space and time to really sort of fall into your authenticness. Not that you've been all inauthentic, but really fall into that authentic self if you allow yourself the opportunity, okay? And so take it. And I hope that helps. All right. Ayishka, I am checking YouTube comments. They all come up exactly in the same place that's there. So you can see people just ask questions. I can see that you've asked, may I have a question? The comments move quickly. I don't always see them. Okay, so it's not that I'm not checking. Yes, you may ask a question. You don't need to ask. You just ask the question, and if I can grab that, then I will. So yes, not ignoring you by any yards of the stick. When I catch your comments, I do. But just everyone on YouTube, be aware of that. Your comments sit exactly the same as everybody else's in the same column, which is handy, which is why I do like this platform. So you've got my attention now. You've got to give me your question, and I'll do one more after Ishika. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name right, but I'll do one more. So come on, give me your question. Otherwise, I'm going to do a general read for you. You're very welcome, Sally. Always. Do you see see my knees healing completely? Okay, so I will sit with that in a general context because it is a health reading and we're on a public forum. But I do feel like completely feels like too thorough of a word. I feel like if we're, say, working on a 100% scale, that we're probably sitting around, it's interesting, I want to say one more than the other. So if I sit, sometimes things mirror, okay, so forgive me if I'm the wrong way around, but if I sit with the left side, I get 85. If I sit with the right, I get 90. All right, and I do feel like it's almost seasonal as well. So for example, I'm sitting in winter, and so I feel like in winter time it's going to give me a little bit more grief. Now I do feel like I see the water around you, and by that I do feel like the water is going to be quite important as far as keeping that strength up. And so it's almost like the structure has been manipulated. Obviously, I'm assuming we don't need to be too psychic to know that, but we need to bring in that muscle structure that's there, because it's almost like the lead up to it is was that depletion. And so if we restore that side of things that's there, it's also going to add on top of. But as far as a niggle and an annoyance, there's always going to be something. Okay, but as far as like it ruining my quality of life or anything else like that, no, I don't feel that at all. All right, it's yeah, but I do feel like the maintenance is like going to be quite important. You know, it's interesting. I keep wanting to scratch. Pay attention to any little spots or bits and pieces like that. Just don't let them. You may find that you know, if just for an example, let's say if there's been like a covering that it's caused a little bit of irritation or something else, just be mindful to kind of deal with that as it comes up, because it does feel like that in itself can cause its own little temporary, and by temporary, like 2 weeks, you know what I mean? But just keep an eye on that as well, because I keep wanting to scratch, okay? So I'll leave that there with you, and I hope that that helps. All right, so always just do potluck on the last reading, guys. But I will be back. If I'm not back tomorrow, I'll be back on Monday. There we go, Louise Dwyer. You won the potluck. Please, if you feel it, I would love to see what the cards are saying. So just before I grab you, Louise, I know people will start signing out because it is the last reading of the evening. Thank you very much, everybody who has joined me tonight. If I haven't read for you or you've missed it, then say I will be back several times through the week next week. Other than that, please give me a like or a thumbs up on the way out. Remember the winter discount code. Remember the workshops are coming. And thank you very much again to everybody who has made a donation this evening. All right. Louise. Yeah, interesting. So when I sit with your cards, I've got that Beatles song, Let It Be, in my head. But you've got the Joy card that sits there, which talks about peace, happiness and harmony. You've got the Unity card that sits there, which I always liken to the grandparents, okay? And then you've got the Worry and the Doubt card, which talks about taking all the problems and the challenges one at a time, rather than looking at everything as one big overwhelming mess and feeling like this is wrong, 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 this is wrong. And looking at it like everything is wrong. It's rather than taking this section and going, okay, this is what's wrong here, this is what I can do with that. This is what's wrong here, this is what I can do with that. And dealing with each thing as it comes. You know what I mean? As it comes, it's already here, but you know what I mean? Breaking it down. Finding your balance, okay? I feel like the balance needs to come back in, and I feel like if I keep pulling the cards for you, I'm going to see the external conflict or the wolf in sheep's clothing card that comes out as well. The family energy there, it's almost like there's somebody that's close to either family or like family that's putting their input in and needs to stop, okay? And so just sort of be mindful around with that, because it's causing problems where there doesn't need to be. So I hope that that helps, and thank you for joining me. So, guys, thank you so much, everyone who has joined me this evening. I always absolutely appreciate it. And so just as we go out on the day, please remember to use the code WINTER if you would like to book a reading with me. It will give you 25% off. I am actually going to do a reading day shortly. That'll be done over Zoom, but you guys will have an opportunity to book in with me on a 20-minute read, which usually is only at fairs and things like that, but I do have some time to offer it online. And so that'll be a great opportunity for everyone who's either missed me or wants to just have a quick read with me to have a reading at a cheaper price as well. So keep an eye out for that. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining me this evening. And as I always say, if you can't be good at it. Oh, and before I go, oh, no, it's all right. I'll do it in the morning if I'm going to do it. I was going to say I was going for a bushwalk at some point in time, but I was gonna... Anyway, it doesn't matter. If I do it, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Mwah.